welcome to my YouTube channel. We're back with another series of Just Shada. And we're going to be reviewing Kemono Jihen episode 7 and 8. So we're doing 2 episodes today because I couldn't stop watching. It was just that kind of episode this time around. Just a heads up, guys, if you haven't watched this episode, just let you know there's spoilers, so spoiler alert. My God, wow. It was... When I tell you I was shocked where this show went, it went left real quick. The show went left. So we're back with Shiki wanting to find out about his parents. So he's talking to Inugami, and Inugami is making the arrangements for Shiki so he can meet his family or find out what happened to his family. So Shiki apparently has this uncle named Akio, and he may know something about his parents. We find out in this episode that Akio, Shiki's uncle, is the one that was taking care of Shiki when his parents went missing. So guys, this story goes from interesting to very weird really quick. Like, when I say this episode got dark, it got dark. Like, you think you know what's gonna happen. You think, oh, okay, maybe I'm just jumping into assumptions.
No, you're not jumping into assumptions. That what's happening is actually happening. It's happening.
So what happens is that Shiki goes back to his hometown with Akira, Inugami, and Kabane, and they're, walking around the town, like looking around. Kabane picks up some old folktale about some golden spider web, and this becomes really relevant, so keep paying attention. Shiki's looking around the store, and he notices some girl with like similar color hair as him, staring at him, like just looking at him like looking at him, like into his soul. And he's like looking at her like, and then finally she, runs away. And finally Inugami comes back and he's like, oh, I found your uncle. So they're talking and stuff. And then Shiki wants to know what happened to his parents. He just wants to know. Akira and Kabane and Inugami are all like waiting for Shiki. They're eating ice cream. Akira's concerned because he's like, wow, like I wonder what they're saying. I wonder, how's it going? I wonder what happened to his parents. Shiki eventually comes back and tells them, what his uncle told him. His uncle basically told Shiki that his parents were dead. They didn't really know what to say to him because, like at the end of the day, like Shiki really did believe they were dead anyways. And the fact that he had that like slight glimmer of hope and to have it like smashed, it was kind of like, damn, that really sucks. Like this sucks. Obviously he's like upset about it, but he's not showing it because Shiki's like doesn't like to show his emotions. A lot of these characters don't like to show their emotions. Well, Akira likes to show his emotions. That's different. So they're like in the sauna or hot springs, and out of nowhere, Nobiramu, that blonde-haired kid that was in episode 6, comes out of nowhere. So basically, this kid's like following these people. Nobiramu has to keep his eyes on Kabane because of that life stone that he has around his neck. He's like, wow, you guys really just up and left like that. I had a hard time finding you. I'm just like, Nobiramu, you weren't invited. Because you weren't invited. Like, why are you here? So then they go and, check out the firefly scene. And, things get a little less tense. Akira's trying to clearly cheer up Shiki. Kabane thanks Nobiramu for the whole firefly suggestion because it was really getting awkward. It was really quiet. So then Shiki hears his name. Like I hear it too. I'm just like, who the hell keeps calling Shiki's name? He starts walking around the area and he sees this tree that he used to remember when he was like a kid. And he was like, I remember this tree. It was like, I used it as a marker so I could find my way around. So he realized something. As a kid, he made all these markers so he would know how to find his way back home and to his mom's job, because back then his mom used to have to go to work and he would be left home by himself because his dad wasn't around. So he basically never told anyone, but he used to follow his mom to work. So he used those markers so he would know how to get back home and how to get to her job. And then one day he just didn't feel like waiting for her. Guys, this is where it gets really dark. And I wasn't really thinking, oh, okay, it can't be that dark. It can't be that serious. Guys, I was really shocked. I was like, isn't this a PG-13 show? eventually he starts following all the markers because he starts to remember all the markers in his head that he created for himself. And he eventually finds his way to this cabin in the woods. And he opens the door, he's breathing heavy, and he opens the door and he screams because it's like he remembers something terrible behind that door. So obviously Nobiramu and Kabane are following after him because, you know, he's running all over the place and they're just like, yo, where's he going? So they get to the cabin with him, and Nobiramu steps forward and sees that there's this catheter. There's this basically the syringe on the floor, and he calls it an artificial. I'm afraid to say this. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure Shiki is like maybe 15, 14. They find an artificial insemination catheter on the floor. Did you just say insemination? I know what that means, but I don't think that's the direction you're going with, right? Guys, it just gets dark. I don't even know if this is appropriate to talk about because I'm just like, I thought this was like a show for kids. Anime, you see, this is the thing about anime. Anime can go from 0 to 100 real quick. Anime can go from here to here. Like, anime has no limits, no chill, no nothing. Like, honestly, this is anime. This is just how anime works. Sometimes it could be like the happiest, wholesome, best go-lucky show ever, and then it turns dark real quick. Like School Days example. Attack on Titan example. Just dark real quick. So apparently it seems like Inari is kind of like one of those people that if she knows a kimono is doing something wrong, she's gonna put an end to it. Apparently Inari had to blacklist a certain somebody, and that we find out that certain somebody that she had to blacklist because of this healing silk and the way it was produced and manufactured was Shiki's uncle, Akio. I don't even know how I'm supposed to feel right now. I'm just like, this scene was incredibly disturbing. I was like, wow, this is disturbing. Shiki's uncle was using Shiki's mom to basically create a child that created golden spider webs that healed illness, you know, created organs, did all this cool stuff, all these healing abilities, things that would have him praised forever and have him remembered for years and have him making millions and millions of dollars. And he actually successfully created a child that could create golden spiderwebs that were capable of healing. However, that did come at a price because in the process he had to make Shiki's mom get pregnant over and over and over and over again from different kimono. So when I mean different kimono, I mean different types of creatures that impregnated her over and over and over again. And the only reason she had agreed to do it was because at one point in time, Shiki was a baby and he had gotten really sick. And because the world that they live in doesn't know too much about kimonos, they don't know anything about kimonos, actually, it's a secret. She couldn't just bring him to a regular hospital. Like, who knows what would happen to him? He's a baby. So her brother-in-law was the only person she could turn to and be like, my son's really sick, I need help. So he helped him, you know, get the medicine that he needed, helped him get the care that he needed. And in turn, she ended up kind of being indebted to him because he was able to provide her the things that she needed for her to keep her son safe, to keep her son healthy, to keep her son comfortable. And that came at a price of her birthing kids after kids after kids after kids. These are not normal kids, these are other kimono. So these kimonos sometimes look deformed. They look like other spiders. They don't even look like human. They don't look human. The reality is a lot of these things that she birthed, they're not human because it was the fact that she had to sleep with multiple creatures to even finally get the baby where the baby could create this golden healing silk. So Inari, once she found out about that, she shut that shit down. She shut it down. She was actually probably gonna kill him, but then Inugami was like, wait, hold up. He stopped it because at that time, I think he wanted Shiki to find out what happened to his mom for himself. Apparently, his dad had died when he was younger from supposedly tripping off of a cliff in a forest. Supposedly. The story that Shiki's uncle has mentioned. I don't think that was an accident that he fell off of a cliff and you were standing right behind him. I don't think that was an accident. Because not only could you have helped him, you probably were the one that pushed him too. Shiki's uncle is evil. He's evil. He doesn't even care. Like, he admits to all these things to Inugami. He admits that, yes, I experimented on Shiki's mother. Create a child that creates golden silk that heals, but it was because he wanted to be great or whatever the hell it was. And he doesn't even care. He doesn't care that he traumatized a child. He does not care, because the minute when Shiki opened that door in that cabin in the woods, he saw his mom on that table. And let me tell you, it was kind of crazy. It was crazy. He saw his mom on that table and it was insane. It was really bad. Like, he's like remembering what he saw, and he realized his mom was on that table and something was on top of her. After that, the reason he blacked out was because his uncle slammed a rock to his head, and then he was just out cold. So then when finally Shiki woke up, he was like, "Where's my mom?" And Akio was there to be like, "Oh, don't worry. She's sick. Like, she's like, they're trying to take care of her. She's sick. What? Like, we're doing everything we can." He was like, "Just let me know what I can do. Like, just let me know when my mom gets better." That's all he kept saying. "Just let me know when my mom gets better. I want to see my mom." Like, every time Shiki, when he was a kid, like, "Is my mom okay? Is she good? Is she," like, he would ask over and over and over again. Have you no shame? Have you no shame as a man? How can you sit there and tell this child, like, we haven't heard anything back? And then after a while, Shiki stopped asking, because he never got a straightforward answer from his uncle, because his uncle was always deflecting. After a while, Shiki stopped asking because he started to get scared of what the answer was, because not only did he not remember what happened after being hit in the head with a rock, he also started to get scared of the possibility of what was really going on. I think he was too afraid to question it because, again, he witnessed something really traumatic. And I don't think he was ready. Like, at that time, he just wasn't ready to find out how bad it was. Like, how bad, like, what was really going on. I don't think he wanted to know. And can you blame him? Like, he was a kid. What did he lose his kid when his mom when she was like 5? Like, he didn't see her since she was 5 years old, growing up, and then you realize, oh, maybe she abandoned me, or I don't know. I think what's even more worse about this episode was that he knew that he was basically using Shiki's mom as a maternal base to have creatures just impregnate her day in, day out, every day. Like, it was just like a nonstop, keep going. We gotta get this baby with the gold silk. I think what was the worst part about this episode was that when Shiki opened that door, he was 5 years old. He was 5, and then he was knocked out with a boulder to the head. He was really little. For him to have gone through that really pissed me off. Like, it was really disgusting. And another thing that really got me mad was the fact that Shiki's uncle had the nerve to say something like,
Man, it was so hard when Shiki kept asking about his mom. Oh, God, what a rough time.
for him, not for Shiki. I'm just like, because he had to keep lying and lying and lying until Shiki stopped asking about it. And it's like, you think your life was hard? It was horrifying to hear him say. It's like, how can you say that? You literally just traumatized a child, first and foremost. And second of all, he's crying, asking for his mother. You know what's happening to her. You're lying about it. And you had the nerve to be like, oh, that was such a difficult time when I had to figure out an excuse to give to this 5-year-old that was looking for his mom. What?
I 100% believe that he pushed his brother off that cliff. Like, no doubt about it. He's evil. He's just an evil person.
Shiki's uncle gets out everything that he has to say about what happened to Shiki's mom to Inugami. He's a criminal. So I understand how he's not going to tell Shiki that he did all this, but you're going to just nonchalantly, casually say this to Inugami. And the worst part is his smug attitude, like it's not a big deal. What's the problem? It's just because he wants to attain fame and fortune, and it's so crazy how he thinks he's not wrong. And that's what drives me crazy. Shiki basically heard everything that his uncle said because Inugami called Shiki on his phone and made sure that Shiki was listening to the entire conversation. So he knows what he did because he heard it from his mouth, and now he's gonna kill him. Now Inugami, Kabane, Nobiramu, and Shiki are all in the forest with Shiki's uncle confronting him. Eventually Akira catches up because, Akira got lost and, starts crying.
Blah, 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 whatever.
What happens is that eventually these creatures start to appear out of nowhere. Inugami and Akira basically get taken hostage by the creatures in the forest, and you see the creatures start to release Shiki's uncle from the bondage that Shiki has him in, and you're wondering why are these creatures helping him. And Shiki's uncle reveals something very disturbing. He said, all these creatures right here, they're your siblings. Like, wow. Out of nowhere, this little girl appears with pink hair, well, similar hair to his, and she finds Akira and Inugami, and she tells the creatures to stop attacking them. And they listen to her. And then she brings them to some healing water and heals Inugami's arm. And then she goes to stop basically Shiki's uncle. And we're still trying to figure out who the hell this little girl, who is this little girl that kind of looks like Shiki. You know where I'm going with this. Kabane is pissed. He's very angry because you just told him that all these crazy ass looking creatures are his siblings. These are a result of experimentation that you have done with Shiki's mom, lying to him, not telling him the truth, and him finding out the truth the hard way. And you're not even ashamed of it. That's the worst part. Kabane at this point is pissed. And he's like, what do you want me to do? Like, he literally looks at him like, what do you want me to do? And Shiki, in his desperation, says, help me. Like, Kabane doesn't even think twice. He just starts killing all the creatures around him. And then Shiki's uncle has the nerve to say, how can you let him kill your siblings? And then Kabane is like, I wouldn't kill them. I'm just after you. I'm after your head. They're getting in my way. I love this little kid. I love this kid. Shiki's my favorite still. Shiki's still my favorite. But Kabane, I love that answer. Kabane ends up killing all these creatures. Shiki wants them all dead. He wants them all gone. He's like, just smash them idle. Like, he just wants them gone. But he physically can't get up to fight. He's so emotionally exhausted that it's almost like he's lost his will to fight, but he's angry. He's so angry. He's just sitting there crying. Like, he's on his knees crying because all he hears is his mom's voice. And all these creatures are his siblings because of experiments that she shouldn't have even been a part of. You remember in the beginning when Kabane was awkward as hell and Shiki didn't know how to deal with him. He was just like, oh, respect your elders. I don't like you. They're so different now. Like, they're like this. They're like best buds. Well, Shiki, Kabane, and Akira are all close now. It's kind of cool. I like it. It's dope. So eventually Shiki comes to the conclusion, if I killed my uncle, even if we killed him, it wouldn't make me feel any better. It wouldn't bring back my mom. And I was just like, oh. Shiki is so wise, it's crazy, because at that age, I would have killed him.
I would have murdered him. It's like, you take from me, I take from you. Sorry, that's how that's gonna work. Okay?
Like, he is so wise beyond his years, because I don't know if I could have reacted that way at his age. Like, he's too young to be going through this shit. So then this little girl comes out of nowhere and she's like, wait, don't kill him, because she thinks they're still trying to kill him. It's the little girl that he saw at the shop. Shiki and this little girl have similar features, and that little girl has very similar features to his mother. It seems like this girl doesn't like him either. She's like, I want him dead too, but I need to know where he put my cocoon. And everyone's like, what cocoon? So eventually he starts laughing. He's like, oh, you'll never get that cocoon. It seems like he doesn't even care if he dies. All he cares about is what he leaves behind for this world so that they remember him, which is kind of sick. It's like, this is what you want to leave behind.
To each their own. This ain't it. This ain't it, bro. This ain't it.
The little girl says, I can't have him dead until he tells me where the cocoon is. And he says, I'm never going to tell you where the cocoon is. So then Inugami's like, I can help you find where the cocoon is. I'm a detective. We're all detectives. Shiki's uncle's like, you'll never find the cocoon. And then Inugami is like, oh yeah? And then he whips out his phone.
Ding, 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 ding. Calls Mihai, and Mihai's like, oh yeah, that guy, Akio. He goes here, here, and there. And he also does this, and this.
Mihai knows this guy, what he's doing to a T. It's crazy. I'm like, you know what he's doing to a T. It's
like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know everything about you. You ain't slick.
The water where it's like healing people, that's where they hid the cocoon that she made. Shiki goes down there to find that cocoon, and lo and behold, he finds the cocoon, and in the cocoon is his mom. And at this point, Kabane, Akira, Inugami, and even Shiki's uncle are all there, and Shiki's uncle is like so angry because they found the cocoon with his mom in it, and that's what he was trying to hide from Aya, because if Aya knew that he still had that cocoon, he would still have control over her, because she wanted to make sure that cocoon was safe, for not only for Shiki's sake, but also for her sake. If Shiki just leaves his uncle, he's like, you know what? We're just gonna leave. Not being remembered for anything is worse than dying for him. He also takes his little sister with him. Yeah, that little girl is his little sister. Come on, that's his little sister. Come on. Let's be honest. Nobiramu stayed behind, and I think he definitely killed Shiki's uncle. Nobiramu said, we only let you live out of goodwill, but we do not approve of this stuff. So I think Nobiramu killed Shiki's uncle, which is well deserved. I hate to say it. Inugami drove everyone to this hospital for kimonos for Shiki's mom, because she hasn't waken up, even though she's unharmed, unscathed, no bruises, no marks, no cuts, no scrapes. She hasn't even aged because of this golden webbing. Like, she still hasn't woken up. What did you guys think? I thought the episode was really like, whoa. Basically, whoa. Episode 7 was really crazy. Episode 8 was even crazier, because I'm just like, wow, you don't even have shame in the fact that you did this. I'm just like watching this man, like, you have no shame? Like, you don't even feel bad? Like, no way. You can't be you can't be this kind of human being. Like, I know there are certain destructive human beings, but this is just, this was evil. Like, this was so insane. Like, I didn't think the story was going this way, the way it went left and how it got so dark so quick. Like, that plot twist that happened, I wasn't expecting that. I hate to say it, but like, I didn't think it was gonna be that wholesome, but damn, Jesus, this went from PG-13 to R-rated. Like, I'm just like, so what do you guys think? Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.